What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer, doing a gameplay video for this new variation of Raidraptors that I'm playing. Surprisingly able to win some duels going second, and I mean, as far as end boards go for branded, and it's so funny to look at this deck now, like, what was it, 3-4 months ago? Like, this was the deck to play. Although I don't know if it ever won a YCS. I don't remember. But it was obviously very competitive, and like these end boards were considered so good, right? Mirror Jade plus the Chimera, and you could use Mirror Jade during your opponent's turn too. Like that was just considered so crazy, and now it's like just not so crazy, isn't it? And I think this is like the new Ecclesia. I think it just brings itself back, and it's just kind of decent. A top deck of Quick Launch, it doesn't seal the deal. Like it's not that. It's not an instant game winner, but man, it sure does a whole lot. So he does go for Imperm, and this was game one, so I didn't know what was going on just quite yet. So I still had cross out. Normally I side out my cross outs to give myself a little bit more, interruption during my opponent's turn. But this is the cool thing. So I started with Click Launch. So as far as my opponent knows, I'm playing like Dragon League. He's gonna find out very quickly that him shotgunning his Guardian Chimera so early is gonna be a huge punish for him. And he does have Mirror Jade, but I have Forbidden Droplets. So I'm just kind of ready for this. So I just normal summon Mimicry and then go for the Simorgh. And this is like, oh my gosh. And I still had like Parallel Exceed. Didn't need the Rocket Tracer in hand that I started out with. That ended up just being fodder for Forbidden Droplets. And that's the end of his interruption. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's the end of the duel. There is not much he's going to be able to do about this. I think at this point I maybe could have gone for... I think I could have ended this with Arc Rebellion. I'm pretty sure, but I think I end up flexing. I even misclick here and grab an extra copy of Strangulanius when I should have grabbed something else. But, I can bring this out. And this is great. Infinity's so good because it gets around Mirror Jade's effect, right? So if it's removed during any way, right, it destroys your field during the end phase. But, yeah, I was able to just take it with Infinity. This card's crazy. Card is so good. These cards all have extra effect. Like, all these Omni Negates outside of Borreload just have, like, so many good secondary effects. And I needed to get over this Chimera, so I actually had to use the XYZ Dragon, which is funny, because he had Branded Opening, and I forgot. It protects it. But I'm still going to get one pop, or one negate out of Requiem, which is pretty cool. Oh, never mind. The duel's over. That's why I ended up using Dark Rebellion. I was just like, well, I can just go for a game at that point. And I did want to get over his board because that Chimera would have been threatening like my Cyber Dragon Infinity before I had the chance to like use an Omni Negate. And Time Thief Reducer didn't have anything underneath it, but I just needed it for the 2400 attack body. Let me show you the other duel. So this was game 2. So again, I'm going second. And I cited my Kaijus. All right. I think I take out like Fog Blade too. There's so many things that you can take out, like the Time Thief card counter you can also do, just give yourself more going second cards. So again, I think he starts with the exact same opening. Tragedy, discard, Branded Opening, right? Pretty much everything. He's going to have Ad Libitum and then Chimera. So we'll see what I can accomplish here. Does not use the effect of Mirror Jade, so it's online as of right now. Now, yes, even Kaijus trigger Mirror Jade, which is so annoying. So during the end phase, all my cards get destroyed. He is going to shotgun the Branded, and he goes for Masquerade. And the reason that was so important to Kaiju is because he couldn't use, I think Chimera. I don't know, actually. Why couldn't he have gone into it? Not sure why he went into Masquerade. Maybe thinking that this was going to be good enough, but absolutely definitely not. He ends up banishing the Smorg. The thing is, like, no one really knows what this deck does, right? Who plays Raidraptors? So they're going to just interrupt you at really awkward times and have no idea how it works. So, like, so that's a major advantage when playing this deck. Now, I'm locking in Darks, but it doesn't matter. The duel's over, right? I'm under Masquerade, but the duel is over. Arc Rebellion. There's a whole bunch of attack on the field. And I went into Wistra because I think I needed the extra, a little bit boost. But, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and attack over this Kaiju for, like, 10,000 damage. 12,000 attack, Arc Rebellion, attacks into 2,000, and that's it. The duel's over. So it's so cool to have that Raider's Wing card, which also counts as a Raidraptor card, which is awesome. Your opponent's not going to play around Arc Rebellion XYZ Dragon, obviously. Like, that's just kind of crazy. So there's so many times where you can just sneak this out. As long as you can go into a rank 4, you can have this on the board. And the card's just very, very good. All right, so let's just keep going along here. I don't remember what this was against, but pretty much everything in this deck is like a one of, but it's just whatever you don't have in your opening, you search. Almost every single card in your deck is searchable turn 1 through some sort of way, whether it's Y-Strix, whether it's 4-Strix, whether it's the Phantom Knights cards. It's all there. Whether it's Mimicry, another searcher. Every card's an extender. So everything's a once per turn, and there's just so many extenders that you can just play one of all of them. And whatever you draw, you use. Whatever you don't draw, you search. So 4-Strix can go ahead and search me. I do not think I'm Dark Locked yet, which is a very good thing. I can still use Raider's Wing in the graveyard. And then obviously I'm going to go into Infinity soon. So like if your opponent thinks they're going to like outgas you and like break your board, it's not working like that. And this hand happens to be Dark Ruler proof, which is pretty cool if they did start out that way. So I do have my Fog Blade. Okay. I don't think I was playing Time Thief at this point. I think I'm going to go into... let's see here. Oh, I make a mistake. I wanted to show this too. I thought I had a 4. You got to be careful. I didn't have any Raidraptor 4s in my graveyard. So I ended up summoning Evil Storm Nightmare, and just so I could pop my own Pain Lanius. So this zone's open for the pop, because I almost messed that up pretty badly. But he's going to set one card. I think at this point I knew it was Dark World, so I don't know why he wouldn't side this in. Maybe he thought I was going to force him to go first. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, the dangers just look so bad against this end board, right? Every time he tries to activate one, he's just losing a card. Losing a card that really doesn't even do much for him anyways. So he would have been down to, if he had another danger, he would have been down to 2 cards. And I still have an Omni Negate, I still have Fog Blade, I still have Evil Swarm. Like, it's all just, like, too much to kind of, you know, try to get over. This is against Dark World again. Oh, quick launch plus parallel. GG's. I am going to be Dark Locked, but that's not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. So, Striker Dragon, just a simple, such a nice simple engine. If this arrow pointed down, oh man, it'd be crazy. It would be crazy because my opponent interrupted me right there. Like my turn would have been over, which is very unfortunate. But luckily, like people are playing less and less hand traps, and that bodes very well for this deck. I was playing I think they're not the baby dragons, but like the Collapse Serpent and like the Wyvern Buster. It was okay, but the Time Thief stuff just does a little bit more. Instead of having like one body Time Thief again, those usually represent a full combo like by one card. So I think the replacement was absolutely worth it. Okay, and then I can go ahead and set this. And I did draw Soulshade Force, so I said that's generally speaking a good thing because now Rusty can search me. Rusty can search me the Fog Blade, and they can also search me Shade Brigandine, which is awesome. And I can just go for Shade Brigandine. That's going to give me a good Time Thief interruption, right? Bouncing back to the top of the deck, non-targeting. And I can go into Arc Rebellion. I can go into Time Thief and pass turn. So this is an Ash Blossom, which is cool. It's a Fog Blade. That's my second interruption. This turns into a pop with Rusty. That turns into 3 monster negates. And then this is 2 Book of Moons for special summon monsters, which your opponent probably will be special summoning. I'm just going to go ahead and pop the field spell when he activates it. It just gives him a little too much advantage. And I also just want to I want to get the ball rolling with Requiem, right? Get Mothman, nothing. I can bring this back. He does go for a lure. I have Ash Blossom, and assuming he has like who knows what in his hand, still had Arc Rebellion. Still had 2 more, negates with that card, which is pretty cool. This is against Dino. Again, I cite out my crossout designators. And this is full combo by itself. That's all you need. It's all you need. This card's so good. I tried to see if I could play like the actual card. So if it's normal or special summon, you get to search. And there's one that actually searches 2 Simorgh monsters. But in this deck, I guess specifically, I need 4 level 4s. And there is 1 level 4, but it locks you into wins. So I just can't use it. And I did have the Ash Blossom there for the Raptor. He didn't have Misk, which is very good. Can't open it every time, right? So he had to pass turn. I don't even know what he ended up banishing face down. He had a trap card. Decided to keep it. Must have been bad, I guess. But, if that's all he's got, then he is cooked like freshly cut salmon. So I can do Soulshade Force there. I have 2 extenders in my hand. 1 in the graveyard. Everything's an extender. Rusty Bardiche can come down, and then I can activate Soul Shape Force, go into an Infinity. I can grab his Raptor, which is very nice. And then I can do Fog Blade. Not that I'm going to need it. I probably should have sided out Fog Blade, right? Maybe a little bit of a sighting mistake on my part, considering I knew I was going second at this point. And then I can bring something back. That's going to give me... Again, I messed this up. Like, I keep forgetting. I got to be careful about the materials that I use for these cards. Right? I keep bringing back Painlanias when I don't have the answer for it. With only 2 cards, of course, I'm going to negate Pot of Extravagance. Right? Instead of 4 cards, I only have to deal with 2. And I have a pop and 3 monster negates. Probably going to be enough. Probably going to be enough. This is against Naturia. And this is crazy. So again, kind of being punished here by not running the extra rocket monster. I'm pretty sure this is when I made that replacement. So this is where it looks bad, because I could have gotten 3 bodies out of this, but instead I'm only going to get 2. But it doesn't matter. Like, it's still going to be full combo. So I can go ahead and bring these 2 out. And I guess it forces me not to dark lock myself. Oh, this was before I did it. So here's the justification for playing 3 monsters, right? I just don't do that anymore. I can bring this out, triggers some Norg. Which is cool that Rockets can also trigger some Morg through its own combo line, right? It's not just a brick in your hand ever. And I can go into 4 strikes. I'm probably going to go into a Borreload Savage Dragon here, which is nice. So, like, you can play all 3 Rockets, and it's not a cardinal sin. It's just trying to boost the consistency as much as possible, right? Like, seeing Recharger or seeing Caliber in your hand just seems kind of bad. But at the very least, like, Caliber, special summon it's from a hand and to a zone a Dark Link points to, so it can have some usability. I think it'll just come down to like preference if this is something that you want to play. Shade Brigandine is going to help me go into a Time Thief Redoer. Very nice. This is going to bring out, I can go into Arc Rebellion and then pass. So I have Effect Veiler, I have Fog Blade, the rank up magic, I can grab whatever's off the top. It ends up being a trap card, which is very important. He's going to go for a Guido. That's fine. I can live with that. Because I thought for sure, at the beginning of the turn, when he sent a Guido, I was like, oh, this is definitely Tier Laments. But no, it's just Naturia, which, I don't know, ain't that impressive to me. He's going to try to go to the battle phase. I'm just going to go ahead and hit it with Fog Blade. No problem there. And then I can go ahead and pop one of his cards. I'm going to pop the Mole Cricket. And then I'm going to negate the effect of Naturia Camellia, kind of stopping his plays. And he actually brings back Mole Cricket, which is fine. He's going to try to use Keldo, and then he's going to try to use Keldo effect, I think, to mill 5. I'll just go ahead and negate there, too. I'm sensing that he's kind of ending with his gas here. He's going to try to use Nightmare Unicorn. Of course, I'll negate again. 3 monster negates. That destroy, by the way. Kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. This is against Runick. Double Quick Launch plus the extra body. So at the very least, I'm going to get all 3 out. Again, pretty weird opening. Pretty weird, but it does work. This would have been, actually, this would have been Regulator or Winder, Time Thief Rewinder in one of these spots. So there's actually kind of justification, right? Like, this would have been crazy if this was Winder, because I would have had that Omni Negate ready. Or the Spell and Trap Negate, I should say, not Omni Negate. But I do go into Borreload Savage Dragon, I believe, hopefully before the 5th summon, if I'm not mistaken. Which is the idea. It's kind of anti-Nibiru proof. That's a big reason why you play this card. There's a couple combo lines where that's possible. And I still get the full combo. Like, yeah, that's pretty awesome. And I can go ahead and special summon here, go into Rusty Bardiche, and I can go ahead and set the Silent Boots, and that's going to help me search Shade Brigandine. So this way I can at least go into Dark Requiem XYZ, which is definitely very helpful. Or maybe I go into a Time Thief Redoer. Oh, I think I knew I was playing Labyrinth, so that's why I was playing this. I'm pretty sure that's what the case was. And because I didn't search out the proper rank up magic spell. And maybe, yeah, I don't think I did during the course of that turn, which is fine. So he's going to go for Runick. Yeah, that's right. I knew I was playing Runick, so I was playing this a little bit differently. Right, this card's decent against Runick because it can banish one of their spells. He's going to go for the field spell. All I have to do is wait for Time Thief to do it, right? He's going to activate his spell to try to draw 3, which is what he does here. And all I have to do is just bounce it to the top of his deck so he can't use it. And all these cards are just are going to be sitting in his graveyard, and he's going to top deck the field spell. And as long as that's not a Runick spell, which I don't think it is, there's nothing he can do about it, which is really, truly incredible. Really, really cool. And also Time Thief's obviously good against Runick because it's just going to be a draw one every turn, more than likely. This is against Splite. So Splite thinks they're going to like outgas you. They're wrong. So this hand looks kind of unassuming, but Rocket Tracer by itself, it's such a good card. It's such a good card. It represents 2 bodies by itself and then plus Parallel Exceed. And then I also have Winder in my hand, which it kind of sucks, right? I have Renegade, so I'm not going to be able to search it out, but at least it's an extender. I can't complain too badly about that. And it's cool, right? I have Soul Shave Force, meaning I can search everything else. I get to go super ultra mega full combo in this case. You know, Winder there. If this was like something else, it'd be great because then I would just add this to my hand. But it is what it is. I obviously have like 50,000 rank 4 bodies on the board now. This is one of the best decks to use Parallel Exceed in. So incredible. And I can send Mimicry to the graveyard. I can banish Mimicry after setting the rank up magic spell. Let's see what I grab. I grab a Raider's Wing. Just keep going here. And I can probably use Raider's Wing, detaching that last material on 4 Strix, go into Rusty Bardiche. And it's cool I get to search both because I opened up one of the rank up magic spells. So Boots can go ahead and banish. That's going to grab me Fogblade. I can use Shade Brigadine. Go into Time Thief, Redoer, go into the Dark Rebellion XYZ, go into the Wallow. So I have Wallow Interruption, which is Graveyard Interruption. Dark Rebellion is going to turn into Requiem. I have a Bounce there. And then, yeah, he's going to try to use Triple Tactics Talent. Sorry, you're going to actually help me draw a card after I negate that. Very, very good. And he's got to search something crazy, right? It'd have to be like Starter, but Starter's not enough either. It's not enough, which is truly amazing, to be honest with you. Just a couple more duels here. So this is when I'm using the baby dragons, like Black Dragon Collapser. And again, it's not terrible. In this case, it showcases, you know, how it can be good. So if that's what you want to do, it's what you want to do. But, you know, looking back at this, knowing that that's going to be Time Thief Redoer, or not Redoer, the I don't even know what it's called. I forget. Regulator. That's actually Regulator now, which is like obviously just much, much better. How do I? Okay, there we go. All right, so all this needs is I think a light monster in graveyard. So we'll see if I can make that happen. It might just be stuck. And that was one of the reasons. Like the white one, the white dragon is so much better because it banishes any dark. So I'm not sure if I'm even able to use that. But it's fine. I had everything else that I needed. So Painland is going to start me Raider's Wing. I still have like 3 extenders in my hand, which is obviously very good. I have Called by the Grave too, so luckily I was able to use that. And it used to be where I wasn't running a Dark 6 and I just ran extra rank 4 spots. And that's a valid way to play too, and I guess it gives you less bricks. But I can go into Time Thief. It's like super mega protected. I can attach the top card of his deck and end up being... I'm playing against Dinomorphia. Of course I don't grab a trap card, which is very unfortunate. But he's going to go for Miss. It's like, wouldn't you start with Miss? Bro, like, what were you doing? And he's going to try to use Miss. I have Called by the Grave, so I can just save, you know, my rank up Magic Force, which is awesome. And I end up top decking into a Forbidden Droplets, which is fine. Again, no trap cards. Probably like 50% traps in his deck. Can't get one. I pop his back row, right? He won't be needing that. And then I can go here. And like I said, this card ends up being a really cool Zeus. So it's kind of like a backup plan. 2 pops with Zeus. I have a Forbidden Droplets as well. Requiem still has 3 negates on it, which is obviously very good. OV Raptor is going to try to activate. That's not happening, Chief. I'm sorry to let you know. And last one is against Labyrinth. So, like, this is the reason why I play Satellite Cannon. I don't know if I use it in this duel. I don't remember if I got set up. Oh, this was just a wild, wacky duel. I remember this now. So, obviously, my goal is to go into Satellite Cannon. He tries to go for Dimension Shifter. Thank goodness I have Called by the Grave. Although I think he ends up just kind of stopping my churn. So I can go for Boot Sector Launch. Bringing out this Rocket Recharger. He's going to go for Compulsory Evacuation. So that stops me in my tracks. But I do have Infinite Impermanence. Okay. So that could be worth something. He's got to like open one of the Labyrinth monsters or the Labyrinth trap. So we'll see what happens. We'll see who draws first, right? Will I draw a play starter or will he? I am getting Kage Toge. And this was game 1, so I didn't have any way of like getting rid of stuff. I don't play like Harpy's Feather Duster or anything like that in my main deck. And he's got a couple cards. He's going to set another one. So I'm like, oh, one of these is going to be the Welcome Labyrinth Trap. And then I draw Renegade, which could come up. It's very likely chance it'll come up at this point, right? And he normal summons there, but I'm going to go ahead and negate. Whew. So I dodged a bullet. So no Welcome Labyrinth for him. All right, Tribute Lanius again is a 1-card play starter, but now I actually have Boot Sector Launch, which is a really big deal. Like, this card's crazy. It's very good. And I'm going to go for Time Thief Redoer because I have Retrograde. So that's very relevant. I'm going to be, stacking cards here. He's probably going to have a lot of them. Now, he goes for Infinite Impermanence. It's in the Renegade column. Very unfortunate. So I'm kind of a sitting duck on this play. And I thought I was so done for, right? Because this special summons from the hand, but it has a special summon in defense position first, which is crazy. Absolutely bananas. He's going to go for Compulsory Evacuation. I'm going to go ahead and negate there. And I'm going to go for Boot Sector Launch. I'll only control 1 monster, right? And then I can go for Tribute Lanius. That can send something to the graveyard. Something happens here that I think is like straight up a glitch because I don't understand. But I'm going to go for Pain Lanius. And then he's going to go for... Oh, this is crazy. I think he's going to inflict damage to me, right? 3,000 damage. Now, I think he's going to try to activate something. I remember there was one where he tries to damage me and I end up using Time Thief Redoer, dodging it. It was wild. But I'm getting really low in health, obviously, but it's really not that big of a deal. Health is nothing but a resource in this deck. So here he goes. He's going to activate, right? Inflict 500 damage for each monster your opponent they control. So he thought he had me. I was at 1,500 health. He activates it, but Time Thief Redoer. This card's great. This card's so cool. It's one of my favorite cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! I dodged it, right? I only take 1,000 damage now. Whew, which is lucky. Because then I can go into infinity, and this is it. This is definitely the end of the duel. I'm gonna be able to push through at this point. Like, wow, that was just a wild sequence of events. And the cool thing is, like, oh my goodness, this is so nuts. Time Thief Redoer can just special summon itself, bringing itself back and going into a zone of Rusty. So you just have a pop with Rusty every turn, no matter what. Very, very good. Very good. All right, I can go into Arc Rebellion, and I can, grab that attack. That way I can get over this monster. I actually did not have a body big enough, which is pretty funny. And I can go and attack directly. He's got no cards. That's probably going to be a trap card. Time Thief Redoer comes back, and that is the end of the duel. So I thought that was awesome. That was a cool little end of that duel. Let me know what you guys think about this Raidraptor deck in the comment section down below. Other than that, that's going to do it for today's video, and I'll see you guys next time.